Thank you semua yang sudah join hari ini di acara KodeKiddo, KiddoHack. KiddoHack itu adalah acara KodeKiddo tahunan. Tahun ini kita lakukan secara virtual dan untuk tahun ini yang spesial adalah kita berpartner dengan organisasi yang namanya MLH ini, Major League Hacking. Itu organisasi based di US dan mereka memang misinya adalah encouraging people to have this kind of events untuk anak-anak, untuk mahasiswa supaya terbiasa bertemu dengan sesama anak-anak yang punya interest di bidang coding, computer science, kemudian belajar sesuatu yang baru, dan juga melakukan beberapa challenge gitu. Jadi mudah-mudahan dalam workshop pagi ini kita akan having fun, tapi juga belajar sesuatu yang berguna ya. Oke, sebelumnya Miss juga mau perkenalan dulu. Actually, even today we have few people from different country because this is an online event. So, and the online event is posted in the MLH website. So that's why there will be people from different country too. Hopefully they can follow along because I told them we're gonna do a mix between Bahasa Indonesia and English. But the presentation will be full in English, okay? So let me introduce myself first very quickly. My name is Melanie and I'm the founder of KodeKiddo. For today's workshop, I am also accompanied by 4 other KodeKiddo teachers. Can you guys introduce yourself very quickly, just your name, your location, and maybe your university, where did you graduate from?
Okay, start from me. My name is Marvin. You can call me Mr. Marvin. I'm from Serpong, Indonesia, and I'm graduated from University Multimedia Nusantara.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Marvin.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Miss Gita, and I'm from Semarang. I'm based in Semarang. I'm graduated from Sugio Pranoto Catholic University, majoring in electrical engineering. And I'm teacher from KodeKiddo Semarang. So, okay.
Hello everyone. My name is Mr. Marcel. I am from Tangerang Selatan, and basically I'm on Binus University. Thank you.
Okay, hello, morning everyone. I'm Mr. Gian. I'm from Tangerang, Indonesia, and I'm a student in Binus University. I am a teacher in KodeKiddo Semarang.
Yep. Okay, thank you for the quick intro. So later on during this workshop, because we have a lot of participants, we're gonna do a breakout room. For you who haven't tried breakout room, we will explain it later. But basically, we can split into smaller classroom, and then each of the teacher will help you inside the small classroom. And then at the end, after everything is done, we go back to the big room. Okay. So it's going to be some kind of fun experience because in a small group, hopefully you guys can discuss more. If you have questions, it's easier to handle instead of in this big group. Okay, but right now we got to go over a few items first that overview for the overall that we're going to do in the big room. Okay, so today this is actually part of 3 workshops. Today is the first one. So hopefully you guys can join the second and the third one next week. But this is the part 1. We are going to talk about introduction to Python skill for AI. AI is an artificial intelligence, of course, right? So as I mentioned earlier, this is part of a Major League Hacking event. And as you can see here, they actually have done so many of this event in different countries, different cities, with so many other students as well. So it's good that KodeKiddo and Indonesian kids can participate as well in this kind of activities. If you have Instagram or Twitter and you want to post some stuff, related to this event, go ahead and do it and follow. Don't forget to follow KodeKiddo and MLH Hack as well. So next time, if there's any future event, you can know by looking at our account, social media account. For our agenda today, we're gonna do this kick off. We're gonna do some polling. We're gonna do introduction in this big group. And then the fun stuff is gonna be the hands-on coding. That's why we told you in the email, you should use your computer or laptop because we are actually going to do some coding exercise. You're not just gonna listen for 2 hours because that's gonna be very boring, right? And then after that, we're gonna come back to the big room and maybe we will select some kids to do presentation. If few of you are able to solve the challenge, we're gonna give you some time to present your result. And then we're gonna wrap it up with quiz. So that's the overall agenda. What will we learn today? So we're gonna see a little bit about what is Python, what can we do with it. We're gonna learn a little bit about the syntax and how to create and run some Python program. So I want to show you this one first before we move forward. Let me see. So I'm gonna put it here. So this is in our website. If you want to know more about the workshop, as I told you, this is part of 3 workshops. So today we're gonna do a little bit more of introduction. But then the part 2 and part 3, we are actually going to work on a specific project where we going to create a simple app where we can kind of like create a bot, a chatbot. We will demo to you how the end result is, so you can see what it is. But my point is, don't be afraid because today is just going to be some intro first, but then definitely the workshop 2 and 3 is going to be a little bit harder and a little bit more specific to this project. Okay. So why do we need to learn coding? Why do we need to learn Python and blah, 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 right? There's so many other programming languages, but today we're gonna at least learn one language first, which is Python. But it doesn't matter which one you learn first, because basically after you learn one programming language, you can learn other language much more easier. So, okay, now to make it more interactive, we're gonna do a polling first. So we're gonna do it in Zoom. So let me see, I will launch it and you guys can start answering the question. We only have 3 questions, so it should be very quick. And I'm going to share the result as well after you guys finish. So just like 1 minute. Yep, okay. You'll start seeing people answering the polling. Wow, it's good turnout. We have 85 people in the Zoom today. So we'll see. Okay. So have you learned Python before? It's about 25% each, okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you another minute to finish. Okay. Cool. Okay. Share result. Okay, here. So we'll just take a look very quickly. So have you learned coding or Python before? Okay, about 27%, not at all. Yes, a little during some trial. Regularly, oh, that's good. So about 30% of you actually do a regular coding class or online course. That's good. Where do we know about this event? From parents. Thank you, parents, to tell your kids to join this useful event. What programming language have you learned? Okay, most of you have learned block-based, which is a good start, right? Because that's where you start learning something new. using the block base is much more simple interface. But so I'm glad to see this. It means that now you are ready to move to the next step to learn the text-based coding. Okay, and a lot of you have learned HTML, CSS for website, and some others as well. Cool. Okay, now let's see. So as I mentioned to you, so this workshop is the first in a 3 series of workshop. We are going to see just one example application of using Python to make these tools that also use an AI concept. So AI may sound something like from the future, right? But actually, even in Indonesia, there's already so many AI technology that you see on your daily life. If you use Alexa or Google Home, where you can interact and ask questions and doing quiz, that's powered by AI. Siri in your iPhone is also powered by AI. Or if you watch a video in Netflix or in YouTube, whenever you watch a video maybe related to cartoon, maybe the next suggestion will be related to cartoon, because that's AI analyzing the data and providing recommendation, the next recommendation from your data. Today's workshop specifically was also supported by a big bank in America. It's called Capital One. They also use AI. It's called tool to analyze the data, the credit card transaction, right? A lot of people using credit card. It's not manual. There's no like somebody who look at the number one by one. That's gonna take forever. So they also use AI and a lot of computer programming to analyze the data to look for abnormally, right? To look if somebody usually use the credit card in Jakarta and then one day he use it in Japan, that might be a fraud. That might be somebody steal it, but it also may be appropriate if, let's say, that person is traveling. So, but at least it's get flagged, and then they can notify the user. So there's a lot of things that we need to learn to be able to write your own AI application. We're gonna start with the basic first. We're gonna start with some basic writing code in Python, because Python is it's called text-based coding, right? It means that comparison with Tinker or Scratch, that you only need to do drag and drop. If it is text-based coding, what you type is very important, because it's called syntax, and every language has their own syntax, has its own rules, basically rules how to write the commands, right? Let's say for Python, maybe you have to put colon after if you want to write a loops, but if let's say if you want to print something on the screen, you need to put it inside the quotation mark. So all of that is called syntax, which is a rule of how you need to type your commands for the language. So what are we going to build today? Just for today, we're gonna take a look at some Python script and running them in the console. The console is just like a website or a platform where you can write your program and then you can run it to see the output, right? An application that runs Python files. And today the console that we are going to use is something called Glitz. There are so many other type of console, or sometimes it's called IDE. But today we're going to use something called Glitz because it's very easy to run it and to see the output. If you have questions, don't forget to use the chat, okay? All of the teachers are monitoring the chat to make sure. Okay, so now what are we going to build at the end of the workshop number 3? I'm going to show you to you first so you can see the end result. Let me share my screen. So this one is the application that we're gonna build, and this is actually it's called a chatbot. A chatbot is, what is a chatbot? Anybody know what a chatbot is? You can write it in the chat. Yeah. So here we are going to build a chatbot that can respond to our message. So for example, we want to talk to somebody, let's say talk to Jokowi, right? Jokowi has a Twitter account. So we say, "Hi Pak Jokowi," and then he will answer you. Kalau di masa pandemi belum ramai, tentu kita maklum. Selamat pagi. Then he will answer, bandara dengan bla bla bla. Oke, apalagi sih misalnya apa ya? Rapat apa? Dia, yang ini chatbotnya masih belum begitu pintar, makanya kita nanti akan lihat yang ini jawabannya masih agak random. Kita coba lagi misalnya KodeKiddo. KodeKiddo ada ini juga soalnya, ada Twitter. Kita refresh dulu. KodeKiddo. Halo. Nah, terus langsung dijawab tentang berhubungan dengan coding. Belajar apa? Join us. Python. Dapatkan promo. Okay. So it's kind of related. So because this is all actually the tweets from the account. So if you want to know, I'm gonna put this in the chat. So well, you can play around as well on this like prototype one. So this is at the end of the workshop 3. We're gonna build something like this, but hopefully it's a little bit smarter. What the chatbot will answer is based on our question, okay? Not just random stuff like this. So that's what we're gonna do. Oh yeah, tadi ke atas sedikit. There is a key term here. It's called web scraping. Web scraping is just a term which means collecting data from a website. In this case, we are collecting data from Twitter platform, right? This application that we are building is actually pulling data from that Twitter. And how can we do that? Because a lot of website or application, they actually provide that kind of interface. You can use certain API, it's called API, to be able to connect to a lot of this application or website and then to extract the data that we want. Can you make the font bigger in the Zoom, by the Zoom in the browser? Okay. Ya, nanti kalau yang sharing yang kecil akan dibesarkan ya. Coba yang kalau di presentasi sih kelihatannya cukup besar kan. Okay, so that's we can do. We're gonna do. It's called web scraping application. So when a user enter the Twitter handle, the information is put to our script, to the program, and then the script will pull the tweet from the Twitter using a process called web scraping. Then after the script has the information, it will run some function. What is a function? Function are code that you can use over and over again. And then the function will remove the information that we don't want and print the information that we do need. Okay, so it depends on how we create a function. That's why we're gonna cover it again in workshop 2 or 3. How to kind of like clean up the data before putting it back in the chatbot. Okay, so I mentioned to you, we're gonna set it up in Glitz. So let me see, time check. Yeah, it's okay. So we're gonna, there is, I'll just demo it. So I think it's easier. Yeah, let's get started. What is Python? Okay, so there's some description about Python. Okay, here. we are going to learn some basic Python tools or concept. One is called variables, and this is not just relevant for Python. All of other programming languages actually using the same concept, but they just gonna use a different syntax, like how to write a loops in Python maybe a little bit different than if you write it in Java or if you write it using Scratch, right? So we're gonna learn about the syntax too, but this concept will be the same for other programming languages. So it's good if you learn a little bit here, and then you can apply it in other location. So variable in programming are a lot like variable in math. They store information for us. So it's just like an envelope where you can put some information and then you can take it out again. What about loops? Loops are structure of your program that can use to perform the same task multiple times, right? So if you see part of computational thinking is to be able to recognize pattern. So if you see a pattern, instead of writing the code one by one, but you see the same pattern, it's actually doing the same thing, you can use a concept called loops. And then the third one is a function. A function is a structure you can use in your program to reuse bits of code throughout the program. So for example, if you have a set of comments that if let's say you want to draw a house, when you draw a house, there is some squares, right? And there is some maybe triangle for the roof. So instead of typing the code for making square over and over again, you make a function. Function 1 is draw a square. Function 2 is draw a rectangle, for example. And then whenever you build the whole thing, instead of typing one by one how to draw a square again and again, you just call that function. We will see it in the example. And then we are also going to learn how to run your program using the Glitz console. Okay. The best way is to start coding, okay? So now I'm gonna show you first how to set up Glitz, and then after that we're gonna go to breakout room. I think we are on time, right? So 8:30, we plan to go to the breakout room at 10:30. Okay, good. So far ada pertanyaan nggak, Mr. or Miss Gita yang dari chat yang harus dijawab di sini? Oke, kalau nggak ada kita jalan terus dulu ya. Jadi first of all we set up Glitz. So here there are two options. You can do this. You can create an account so you can save your coding for next time, for tomorrow and the day after. But you don't have to. So right now we don't need to set up an account. Just go directly to this link. So I will show you first how it looks like. If I go to this link, it will open this Glitz website. And here, there's already a template which we are going to use for today's exercise. So after we are here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do remix your own. So if you already learn Scratch, I'm sure you're familiar with remix concept, right? Remix is basically copying this template as your own project so that you can modify it, you can play around with it, because this is just a template. So you click remix, it will open another window like this. So this is how in Glitz looks like, and each of these there will be a challenge or like an explanation what you need to type over here to create your code. Yeah, we're gonna send the links. So let me show an example, right? For example, Miss just created something very simple in Python. If you want to print something, the comments in Python is using print, and then you put something in the quotation mark, and then you type the word that you want it to be. The simplest one is always hello world. Right? So this is where you put your code, and then if you want to see the output, what you do is you click these tools, you click terminal, meaning the terminal is actually the output screen. See, the output screen now doesn't show anything because we haven't run the program yet. How can we run the program? is by typing Python, and then we have to type the file name. So this is the file name, regex.py. So if I type regex.py, and then I do enter, then you can see that's the output, hello world, right? So if I, let's say, change this one, hello, my name is Miss Melanie, and then I want to run it again. Here, I can just retype the same thing, Python regex.py, or another trick is you use your arrow. If you use your arrow up, means that it will copy the previous command. So I'll just do arrow up. It'll show the same thing, Python regex.py. Got it? And then I do enter. Now I can see my output is here. Hello, my name is Miss Melanie, because I changed my coding up here. Okay. So that's pretty simple, right? How to use Glitz and how to run the program here. Now let's see. Let's go back to the slide. So now, after we send you the link, okay, so this is the one that I told you, we're gonna go to this. So I will copy, to, the chat. We're gonna go to the URL, remix your own, right? And then we're gonna do writing the code one by one. So that's the one that we're gonna do in the breakout room. Okay, so see, okay, now we're gonna start with the first exercise when you actually gonna do the coding. And that's, we're gonna do it in the breakout room. Before we split up, any question? Okay, check the chat. Okay, yeah, in the chat, I just typed the URL. You can just click it and it'll open Glitz. Okay. Now I'm gonna put you guys in the breakout room. Give me a second. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna need to give me 1 minute to make sure its teacher will be in the breakout room. Okay, Mr. Marvin will be in room 1. Miss Gita will be in room 2. Mr. Marcel, room 3. And Mr. Kian, okay, in room 4. Okay, so I'm gonna open the breakout room. You guys gonna split, and we will come back in maybe like 55 minutes. Okay. Oke, yang ketinggalan di sini Gerald, Nikki, and Richard. Okay. Gerald, are you okay? Do you see that? Yeah, do you see notification to join the room? Oh, sorry. Maybe you can unmute yourself in a second.
Unmute.
Yeah. Hi, Cheryl.
Say hi to Miss siapa? Panggil dong.
Miss Melanie.
Hi, Miss Melanie.
Iya. So, are you in the room already?
No, I'm not.
No?
Yang
Okay.
iPad Mami yang udah. Ini, bukan?
Bukan, kakak sendiri.
Tidak. Ini Mami matiin atau gimana?
Bentar.
Atau-
Bentar, Miss akan assign kamu ya, bentar. Okay. Go ahead. And usually there's a pop-up saying that join the room. Yeah.